Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. For those of you who are new to my work, my name is Kaia Ra, and I am the author of the best-selling sacred text, the Sophia Code. And I also founded and run a mystery school, the Sophia Code Mystery School, where we are a true ascension space for learning how to embody the truth of your own sovereign divinity and how to learn how to lead from that space, which is a very different kind of leadership. It's leading through your embodiment. And so in the Sophia Code, we meet 8 very powerful mentors that are part of an overarching high council called the Sophia Dragon Tribe. And the Sophia Dragon Tribe have brought to us a return of divine feminine Christ teachings that in essence are all pointing to the truth of your sovereign divinity. And it is my great honor and pleasure to welcome you tonight, both those of you who are new, as well as our long-time standing members of the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. Some of you I've been praying together with for at least 5 years now, which is such an honor and a delight to celebrate in this new year with you. And I just want to be really honest. I had some dental surgery this week, so the structure of tonight's call is going to be a little bit unique, but no less powerful. It's just going to involve less talking on my part. So less talking, more meditating, which is just fine by me, and I'm sure with you as well, because in our modern busy lives, when we actually set aside an hour together, what a great way to spend that time together in periods of meditation. So without further ado, I just want to say one more part of my welcome, which is that no matter what background you come from, whether it's a specific religion or a specific spiritual lineage, I just want you to know that all names of God are welcome here. And when we speak about Christ consciousness, we're speaking about the light of your soul, that same Christ light that exists within every single one of us. And so we are here to honor and give thanks for the truth of your sovereign divinity, the truth of our sovereign divinity in equal measure. And so this is about unity consciousness. This is about understanding that we've all come here to embody and self-realize our role in awakening to the fact that we are all God together. There is the presence of God that created us all, and we are all a part of that presence. And we are nothing less than that. So for tonight, please know that wherever you come to this call tonight in your journey, whether you've had a really hard week or a hard month, or whether you're flying high and you're just really excited about where life is going in 2020, and maybe you might be somewhere in the middle. Excuse me. Maybe you might be feeling, maybe you come from a very advanced place in your spiritual journey, and maybe you're just getting on your path. It really doesn't matter, because the truth is, when we mentor with ascended masters, which is what we're going to be doing on this call tonight, is that we are equally humbled and empowered in their presence. Because that's what happens when we come into contact with beings that embody their sovereign divinity from a place of no agenda and from a place of absolute service, which is what we teach for leadership in the Sophia Code Mystery School. We don't teach a structure or a blueprint based on succeeding over one another. We teach a blueprint that all of our empowerment is non-hierarchical, and it's all resourced from the same place, and we all have the same capacity to rise together, and for all of our gifts to be overlapping and harmonizing and uplifting one another. When you come together with ascended masters, you touch into what that looks like and what that feels like for real. We don't have a lot of examples of that on the earth plane. A lot of spirituality is surrounded with competition and jealousy, and there's just a lot going on that's confusing. But that's not what's happening here. And my prayer is that you can feel that over the course of this next hour in the presence of the Ascended Masters. We are guided by a collective of beings that are exceptional mentors in how to embody your sovereign divinity. And that's all that they want from you and for you. They only want you to experience what life would feel like, what 2020 will feel like, what the rest of your life would feel like, embodying your highest potential. Now, I have a quick question for you. When I say the words highest potential, do your thoughts immediately turn to perfectionism? Because I know that there was one time in my life that that's where my thoughts would go. Oh, if I'm embodying my highest potential, that means there's nothing wrong with me. Isn't that an interesting thought? When we say embodying your highest potential, what that means is you get to experience the fullness of your divinity, interfacing with the fullness of your humanity simultaneously. Now, I don't know about you. I just had a birthday. And after the many years that I have lived on this planet, what I have discovered about the human experience is that there is always more layers to love within me that I previously did not know were unlovable to my own consciousness. The journey we are on in our human experience is a journey of reconciling with the imperfectly perfect journey we chose as human beings to discover our divinity within a human body. All of our wounding is the source of our greatest medicine. All of our pain is the pathway into our greatest empowerment. All of our fears and anxieties are literally temple gateways into our greatest joys and our highest creative inspirations. That's what the perspective of our divinity is sharing with us about the gift of our humanity. And in the Sophia Code mystery school curriculums, that's what we are celebrating every step of the way. So your highest potential, today might be holding yourself in a new way with great compassion while you feel your heart practically falling out of your chest. Because something might have happened on Valentine's Day that just blew your heart to a billion pieces. Your highest potential might be that you got engaged on Valentine's Day and you didn't know that you could achieve that kind of bliss. And how do you maintain the feelings of that bliss without wanting to self-sabotage it? Can you hold yourself with compassion if you do have a propensity for wanting to break what is already that's not broken, something that's not even broken? It's perfectly fine. Highest potential means we are available to a greater presence within us, our higher self, our soul, our divinity, guiding us beyond all of our resistances to how good this life can be for us. I don't say that lightly. I say that from a very raw and real place from within my own heart. And honestly, at this moment, from within my mouth after dental surgery this week. It's raw. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel the healing that's happening live right now, even as I speak into this prayer call. It's just like I'm speaking from that very authentic place that how you get to embody your highest potential in every present moment is precious. It is the spiritual gold that you're here to offer in your divine purpose and in your leadership in 2020. I'm going to be talking a lot about that throughout this call because I'm really excited. I'm getting ready for what's ahead in March. I'm about to launch the 2020 Vision Mentor Journey, both for our alumni initiates and also for all of these wonderful new people that are coming to hear about the Sophia Code for the first time. I've created these journeys in March, starting March 4th, where I'm going to be walking us through the temple gates of the Sophia Code Mystery School curriculums, both Stargate 1 and Stargate 2. For some of you, we're going to be revisiting this material, and for many of you, we're going to be diving into it for the first time. And I have to say, I'm really profoundly excited about that. I love connecting with a community that is truly committed to evolving, truly committed to no longer spiritually bypassing, which is so common in spiritual circles all over this world. It's a lot of how high can I get that I don't really want to do the inner work. And it's just like, in the Sophia Code Mystery School container, we are getting as high off God as we possibly can, while we are going deep, deep, deep into the roots of what's keeping us from our own bliss and our own success and our own peace with ourselves. We're here to do the inner work and to watch so many people that have walked through our mystery school gates come through the place, through the Sophia Code teachings and mentoring with the Ascended Masters, where they're able to connect with other community members, other initiates, other people in the program, and be able to offer their reflections of their life-changing experiences with the curriculum. It's been so mind-blowing for me to watch this phenomenon happen over the past 3 years in our forums, in our inboxes, watching our Sophia Circle leaders grow, blossom, and then take their leadership into the world. I had to offer this journey again in 2020. I was on fire to do it. And I'm really excited to share more about that with you at the end of the call. So if you do want to learn more about it, you can go to my website, kaiara.com/mentor journey. I think it's 2020 mentor journey. It's right on the website in the top navigation. But to begin our prayer call for this evening, I would invite you to turn to page 68 of the Sophia Code. And we're going to work with 3 specific mentors tonight. We're working with Isis, we're working with Mother Mary, and we're working with White Buffalo Woman tonight, which are, I love witnessing how the Ascended Master Key Code mentors blend. They blend their specific key code transmissions and frequencies. And the way I see it is, I often see it in the form of colors. When I was a child, and that was the way I would remember how to read, or math equations. I would associate colors and frequency with numbers or letters, and then the colors would all blend together into a formula that I could remember. And that's how it works for me with the key codes as well. So when I feel the presence of Isis coming in, which I invite you to just take 3 deep breaths with me, because we're just going to dive right in with our prayer collective call and meditation and work with each of these key codes tonight. I invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we're going to do that together 3 times. Good. Now, when the energy of Isis starts to come in, you may feel it as though there's winds that approach, and there's a rustling of angel wings. You may feel a violet or purple frequency. There's always the attendance of a golden and silver and platinum rays of light. There's that pure gold Ankh presence. The Ankh is the sacred symbol of life in Egyptian cosmology. And you're going to witness or feel the presence of Isis almost gliding in. She has a very regal air about her, the way she carries herself. You may start to feel your spine straighten a little bit in her presence, and her magnificent wings. Tonight, I'm witnessing, she changes the color of her wings depending on the ceremony. And this evening, I'm witnessing that she has her pure white wings open, but the under feathers of the white wings are rainbow colored. Like there's the red layer of feathers and so on, orange and yellow and green and blue and purple. And there's that beautiful iridescent sheen on all of the feathers. And I've been wearing the Isis pendant all week, because we've been doing so much work to get ready for the 2020 Vision Mentor Journey. And Isis is the head of our mystery school. Isis came to me 3 years ago and asked me to create a mystery school curriculum that would go with the Sophia Code book. And so, of course, if Isis asked me to do something, I'm going to do it with all of my feelings about it. But I still showed up. And so I'm really excited to be present with her this evening and with you. And I'm also wearing her wristlet. And in her wristlet, it says from the book, "It is safe to be seen. It is safe to lead. Daughter and son of the Most High." And all of the jewelry, it's inscribed with teachings from the book that's in my Embody Your Sovereignty collection. So on page 68 of the Sophia Code, this is where we pulled the context for the key code 1 wristlet. And I'm going to read this passage out loud. And as I do, I invite you to feel the presence of Isis, bringing her hands perhaps to your shoulders or to your heart. And I invite you to keep connecting to your breath and to her powerful presence. Most people think that they can't feel or see or hear the Ascended Masters, but it's not actually true. The truth is that when you are in the presence of an Ascended Master, you are in the resonance of absolute Sophia Christ consciousness. They are so powerful, it kind of blows your hair back. It definitely blows the hair back of the ego structure, number one. And we all have an ego structure. If you're in a human body, you have an ego structure. And if you don't think you have an ego structure, okay. Everyone gets to have their own perspective. But I know for myself, I have an ego structure. If I'm in a human body, I know what's real about the body. And I know that the body comes with an ego structure when you inhabit it on this earth plane. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's nothing to be embarrassed by. It's a part of us that needs to be loved out of fear and into the light of our divinity. And so when we are in the presence of our Ascended Master mentors and guides, it's so much light and it's so much power and it's so much sovereignty. We want to almost retract or contract from that much of a presencing, of an embodiment of who we are. They are our mirror. They are our mirror of how we are here to embody our own sovereign divinity. When you look into the eyes of Isis, when you feel her presence, when you see her wings towering above your own, towering above, it is invoking your own angel wings to unfurl. So angels, those of you who have done the Activate Your Angel Wings initiation, which for those of you on this call who haven't done it, you can get it on my website on the activations page. Please unfurl your wings so that you can feel your wings being blessed by Isis. And for those of you on this call who haven't activated your angel wings yet, no worries. Isis can begin that beautiful empowerment journey, empowerment right now, blessing over the back of your heart chakra, preparing your wings to unfurl for when you watch that activation video that's available on my website. I'm going to read this passage from page 68. I invite you to drop into the Sophia Code as a sacred text and a living transmission. And if I sound like I'm slurring a little bit, please forgive the dental work as it's healing in real time. And thank you for your compassion. Page 68, Isis speaks. Oh, and if you have your copy, you're welcome to read out loud with me. Your copy of the Sophia Code. Thank you for welcoming me as a mentor, guide, and friend for your heroic human journey. My divine feminine embodiment of sovereign creative power provides a clear mirror for you to recognize the same divine power within you. Today is ordained by your higher self to dissolve your unconscious commitments to fearing the sovereign power within you. I am Isis, and in the sanctuary of my wings, you are safe to unfurl your own. This is your lifetime to fly free in the vista of your personal sovereignty. I come to you as a loving witness, mentoring your awareness to accept the royal divinity of your soul. You are now ready to receive your higher self, activating the full potential of your divine genome and human body. Allow the words of my sacred heart to guide your awareness in the acceptance that this is your lifetime to shine. Your true nature is holy. Your true nature is joy. Your true nature is peace. Your true nature is the same creative power that birthed the stars above. When your personal power is guided by the pure motives of your sacred heart, you are singing a new reality into form, protected by your own invincible nature. I assure you, it is safe to be seen. It is safe to lead. You are here to contribute your legacy of love, your heart's vision for heaven on earth, for the dawning of this next golden age. To fulfill your great purpose for being here, you must relinquish small ideas about yourself and believe in your divine, sovereign power to create a new world. Let's take a moment to really allow that message from Isis to absorb into every cell of your body. Today is the beginning of our first Mercury retrograde for this year. And so today, and it's also happening in Pisces, which means a lot of feelings are going to be coming up over the next few weeks. And what happens during a Mercury retrograde is there is a review of previous wounding that has happened in your life that wants to be healed, cleared, and empowered beyond. So as I posted on Facebook today, I posted a piece about how terrifying it's been for me to be seen as a leader. Every time I step up to a mic, every time I create a video, I am always facing my greatest fear of being seen. And no matter what, I'm going to show up to my commitments, but it's been a long journey. And I want you to spend a moment here with Isis during this Mercury retrograde. How have you been afraid of being seen? And how is that holding you back from being of service to others in 2020? Isis doesn't judge you. She is empowering you. Her wings are surrounding you in grace. She is fully present with your fear and also your hopes and dreams and prayers for how you want to embody your sovereignty and step forward this year and really sharing your gifts in a new way. And I invite you to feel her presence surrounding you now and listening to you. You're all on mute. If you want to share with Isis what your greatest fear is, just go ahead and speak it out loud right now. And I can feel some tears being shed across the heart waves. I can feel a lot of grief being released. Just continue to breathe into Isis's mentorship in this moment. You see, Isis is the ultimate mentor for leadership. She understands every feeling that you feel. She was blessed by Sophia with this incredible capacity to feel the pain of this world and to feel the pain of our suffering hearts and to also feel our full potential. She has a steadfastness and a faithfulness as a mentor where her wings are always lifting us up, even with all of our hard feelings about being seen, about showing up to our divine purpose. When you call in Isis as a mentor, you are activating an aspect within yourself that says, I am going to show up and believe and have faith in this lifetime, that this lifetime can be different, that through my faith and through my communion with Sophia God, it will be safe for me to be seen and it will be safe for me to lead. And so I also call in at this time Archangel Michael, Joan of Arc, and Mother Mary to attend to your heart. If the sacred flame of your heart needs tending to and brightening. May you feel the presence of these masters joining with Isis to brighten the flame of your sacred heart. If you're like, I don't even have the flame, I don't even know what you're talking about, lady, that's okay. Let's light the flame together. Breathing in and releasing into more love and more support in 2020. Isis is also touching the third eye and the ear chakras of those of you who are ready for deeper initiations and activations in your psychic centers. What's interesting about the Sophia Code as a sacred text, we talk about this in chapter 5 of the Sophia Code. Because the Sophia Code is a complete download, it's an oracular sacred text, which means it all came directly from the Ascended Masters. Because it is an oracular sacred text, it literally by default activates your psychic centers as you read it cover to cover. And you're not going through this direct process of, oh, I turn on this chakra and flip this on and flip that on. It's like it's already happening through the transmission, through the 8 key code initiations. And every time you go back and reread the Sophia Code, the same process deepens and opens you even wider. So for those of you who have been with these Sophia Code teachings for a while, I invite you to go back this evening and redo the Isis initiation, because she's going to take you even deeper into your psychic centers. I'm hearing the message from Isis tonight, and she's saying to us that it's funny because I had a very challenging weekend. I had to examine a lot to get ready for this Mercury retrograde on the inner planes. And there was a moment where I was wondering if I was actually hearing the right guidance. And the Ascended Masters came back to me and they said, you are absolutely hearing the right guidance. It's just, you're not hearing what you want to hear. And, and that's tongue in cheek, because that's what Isis's message is for all of us this evening, is that so many of us are actually being guided on many, many levels. And we push back and we think, I'm not really being guided. I'm not really that connected. But the truth is that we are actually receiving more guidance than we realize. It's just not the guidance you want to hear necessarily. Because here's the thing with intuitive divine guidance, it's always going to bring you to a vulnerable growth edge. It's never going to bring you to the safe and comfortable place. When you mentor with the Ascended Masters, you are being brought to new territory within yourself, and new territory in your relationship with life, and new territory in your relationship with all of your feelings. You are asking yourself to break old patterns and re-examine how fluid and how sovereign you can be in your relationship with life. How willing, how allowing, and how receptive you can allow yourself to be in your relationship with life, with the Ascended Masters, with God, with your loved ones. So much of what we complain about is because we're not opening up and letting in the help, because we don't like what the help is, how the help is showing up, or we don't like where the help is guiding us to go next. The truth is that there's an infinite amount of options for how we can be empowered in every present moment. There really, really are. And sometimes it could just be that there's that one option that's just really hard to bend the knee to and actually follow through on. But it is absolutely that next step that walks you through the temple gates of your inner reality into your greatest empowerment. And so Mother Mary and Joan of Arc and Isis and Archangel Michael are blessing your heart in how to bend your knee to your own divinity in 2020. And let's say this prayer together. Make me a vessel of grace for myself first, and may all beings benefit as a result of my willingness to be led by my own divinity in 2020. You want to talk about praying in 2020. It's all about bending the knee to the divine will that is literally drawing you out of your caves and your closets and your fears and your anxieties in ways it's going to feel like cat on a hot tin roof for the rest of the year. But you're going to come out the other side as an ascended master in training. And so I deeply invite anyone on this call who is looking for that next level support with Isis, with Mother Mary, with White Buffalo Woman to join us for this 2020 Vision Mentor journey starting in March. Because I believe in it wholeheartedly. It's how I've gotten this far with all of my own fears and anxieties, by mentoring with the Ascended Masters. And so I'd like for us to move forward now into that Mother Mary piece that's coming up next. And if you have your copy of the Sophia Code, I invite you to turn to page 170 of the Sophia Code. And we're going to talk a little bit more through the Sophia Code, what it's like to mentor with Mother Mary. And why is she so important for 2020? My God. So Isis is stepping backwards, but she's still there, creating space for your deep healing and empowerment. And Mother Mary is stepping forward, and she is doing some healing work over the front of your heart chakra. For those of you who are preparing for your root chakra to be activated even more in 2020, which is really exciting. We actually have a root chakra pendant coming out soon in the jewelry collection to help you with that activation. We're going to start on page 170, Mentoring with Mother Mary. My divine feminine Christ embodiment transcends the boundaries of religion, indigenous traditions, and modern spirituality. Across the earth, I am a recognizable and trusted central figure for seemingly different spiritual pathways that all lead to the one source. As an Ascended Master teacher, I am mentoring humanity in how these many spiritual pathways intersect, beyond all seeming differences within the one sacred heart of Sophia consciousness. This is really, really important in 2020. There's so many people suffering from what they believe in spirituality and religion, and Mother Mary is standing as a pillar for us in 2020 to hold the vision that any authentic spiritual lineage is always going to lead us back to the same one source, light, from which we all come from. I appear as a permanent spiritual guide when you are ready to walk the way back home to your heart and consecrate your life to the divine will of your higher self. It is a great joy for me to support the blossoming of your own self-mastery. That's so interesting. Mother Mary is saying she's going to walk with you as you consecrate your life to the divine will of your higher self, supporting you to blossom in your own self-mastery. There is nothing in those sentences about anyone saving you. It's about you blossoming in your mastery. That is the least spiritual bypassing sentence I could read. It's like she is here in 2020 to celebrate and watch you blossom as she mentors you in what it's going to take with all of your feelings to blossom in that mastery. I highly value the human experience as an important vehicle for ascension, and how I interact with my initiates reflects this passion. I often move beyond the laws of form to reach those I work with by frequently appearing in dreams, visions, and through physical signs to those mentoring with me. I revel in the everyday details of your life that are all contributing to your journey of ascension. You can call on me for help with anything at all, for every moment of your life is precious to me. My divine love is practical, tender, sweet, and tough enough to reflect the authentic support that you need in every present moment. For those of you who need a mother or a best friend that you've never had, I am here to joyfully embody those roles for you and help you heal unresolved wounds. I also awaken the inner mother and best friend within you, supporting the emotional growth of these important relationships with yourself. In our mentor relationship, it is vitally important for you to remember that I am never judging your learning experiences. That's really important. These Ascended Masters are never judging us. I support you to reach beyond religious ideas of self-shame and guilt. I believe that, sorry, my teeth. I believe that every step of your human journey is an essential part of your spiritual awakening, including your relationship with suffering. Know that I am here to walk with you as an unconditionally loving ally through every vulnerable, challenging step of releasing any and all addictions to complacency and victimhood. My guiding light presence shifts your perspective from being a powerless bystander in life or even a victim of life to that of a sovereign co-creator with your higher self and Sophia. As a mentor, I know that this shift will occur for you in successive stages of integrative understanding. I work with your own pace while also encouraging you to be persistent with your progress. I protect, ground, and guide you throughout your spiritual awakening from victimhood and walk with you every step of the way to embody your full, sovereign, creative potential. So, this is an extraordinary passage from Mother Mary, and it keeps going into even more extraordinary information for the rest of her revelations. But we also have White Buffalo Woman to cover tonight. So tonight, what I'm hearing from Mother Mary for our prayer and for our mentorship with Mother Mary in 2020 is that Mother Mary is here to help us spiritually mature and parent ourselves in how to be in a much healthier relationship with our emotional spectrum. No matter how much inner work you've done, no matter how much you think you may have healed in this lifetime or of all your lifetimes, the truth is, in this particular lifetime, the reason why it is so pivotal, and the Sophia Dragon Tribe talks about this in chapter 3 of the Sophia Code, we are going through a 0-point calibration process. There are many master souls on this planet that want to go through a process called 0-point calibration, where you are healing and you are resolving and you are reconciling with every single part of you, of your own soul that has incarnated across space and time. Let me tell you, that's too many lifetimes to count. The only people that think they have nothing left to heal in this lifetime are, honestly, they don't really know what they're talking about. There's just so much to love from all of our experiences, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lifetimes that we have lived across this cosmos. You could spend the rest of your life learning how to love yourself even more deeply from everything that you have survived and your willingness to incarnate and form. And what an opportunity to do that within your human body within a single lifetime. So Mother Mary is such a wonderful mentor with her teachings of the rose. She's key code 4 of the Sophia Code, she of 1,000 roses. And her teachings of the rose, you are always spiraling deeper into this journey of self-love, this passionate love affair that you can have with yourself, that we so often desperately look for other people to fulfill for us, whether it's in partnership or our parents or grandparents or even our children. The truth is that your soul is radically in love with you, radically. And the way that you get to feel that love, it's so radical, the love that your soul has for you, that it's very much as, you know, when we meet the presence of an Ascended Master, it blows the hair back of the ego structure. It's shocking how much your soul actually loves you. So we unfold petal by petal the rose of our heart, and we go through this journey with Mother Mary of how to open our hearts to being that loved by our own soul. And honestly, the deeper you spiral into the rose of your own heart, the more the understanding dawns upon your awareness that this is the solution for everything that's happening in this world. because you can't passionately fall in love with yourself and not end up reclaiming your sovereign divinity. And you can't allow a system of enslavement to infect you any longer that's here on this planet if you are passionately in love with yourself and embodying your sovereign divinity. By default, those two things polarize like oil and water. They can exist in the same world, but they're going to be on their own sides of reality. It's fascinating. You want to end the systems of annihilation, rape, torture, murder, trafficking on this planet, end the enslavement of your own heart. Mother Mary is deeply commissioning us in 2020 to radically love our own hearts, beyond codependency, beyond fears and anxieties about being seen for the living angels that we are, beyond abusing ourselves or neglecting ourselves, thinking that's some kind of service. Most importantly, to stop punishing ourselves for all of our feelings. Feelings are information. Feelings contain wisdom. Feelings contain messages that something deeper is unpacking itself within us in every present moment. Even if it's anger, grief, or anxiety, if you have a relationship with those feelings, they're not going to overrun you and they're not going to control you. You will still be able to show up to your divine purpose, to your higher self embodiment, and to your spiritual leadership in 2020. And that's a big part of what we explore in the Stargate One curriculum, which we will be diving deep into in the Silver Dragon Mentor Package starting on March 4th. So Mother Mary is bringing her hands to your heart, and she's deeply breathing with you into your heart. And she's praying over your heart to soften your own mind and your own defenses to this space within you that is truly guiding you in new ways in 2020, in very unfamiliar ways, to new people, new opportunities, stretching you to try new ways of connecting with others, opening yourself up to new career opportunities, new ways to serve. I've been watching so much unfolding in our Sophia Circle Leadership Forum. There's so many of our Sophia Circle leaders are trying new ways. They're expanding their platforms. They're exploring new marketing. They're exploring their hearts. They're leading Sophia Circles for the first time. And it's incredibly vulnerable. And they're growing so fast as a result of it. So Mother Mary is blessing your heart's accelerated expansion in 2020. And she's whispering into your heart that this is the year to learn how to parent your own heart into the maturity that you are seeking. So many of us in the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective have very big prayers and very big visions and very big dreams about how we want to lead in this lifetime. But leadership is supported by the parent within us. We talk about this in the Stargate 2 curriculum, how to parent our own hearts beyond the challenging feelings that come the very moment you decide to be seen for who you really are. And she's placing her arm around your shoulder and she's saying, you've got this, but most importantly, we've got this, because in 2020, you can call on me every day to surround you in that protective mother bear support that you need, along with Isis's wings, for feeling safe in being seen. Further, to explore what life feels like moving from unconscious victimhood into sovereign creatorship. So in this moment, I invite you with Mother Mary, if there's one area of your life that you've been feeling a lot of grief about, or sadness, or maybe it just feels out of control, or maybe there's just an addiction that you've been struggling with, or maybe it's just something just isn't working the way you keep trying to have it work out. There's a struggle there. There's an unconscious block. In this moment, let's take 3 deep breaths together, and you're welcome, because you're all on mute, to speak out loud to Mother Mary what has been coming up for you and what you would like her help with as your mentor. Remember, she might give you an answer that you don't like, but it's still an answer that you need. That's good parenting. So let's take 3 deep breaths together. And you may feel the presence of Mary helping you to release those blockages, or helping to soothe those fears, or guiding you to a vision of what the root of that fear is, or that anxiety, or that challenge. Or maybe it's a solution. Maybe it's a peace, a feeling of trust that's just rolling through your heart in this moment. For some of you, I'm seeing Mother Mary just simply embracing you in a mother bear hug, assuring you in every cell of your body how blessed and beloved you are. Okay, I'm also receiving a message from Mother Mary. She has an announcement. I have an announcement to make. She's saying, many of you that you've been exploring the process of embodying your higher self. Maybe you sort of took the Stargate 1 curriculum. Maybe you got through part of it. Maybe you completed it. There's this calling to go deeper in your higher self embodiment practices, because your divine purpose is being called out in 2020. And in ways that are making you feel uncomfortable, because we're all being called into leadership this year. I thought it was so interesting. I was talking to a publishing house just 2 days ago, and they, eventually I'm going to be publishing The Elegant Equation of Divine Feminine Christ Leadership, which is modules of that book, which is going to be my next book, are in the Stargate 2 curriculum. And the publisher said, what do you think about changing the title to Divine Feminine Christ Consciousness instead of leadership? He said, everybody's terrified of leadership. Nobody's going to want to read that book. And I thought to myself, what? It's exactly what we need, even if we're terrified of it. I'm not like, it's so interesting to me. Do you know in France, they don't even really have a context. I was talking to my French publisher, and there wasn't even a context for talking about spiritual leadership in the translation. So there's certain words we're going to be using in English. And for me, that made me realize what a revolution the Ascended Masters, especially Mother Mary, because there's so much about divine purpose and leadership that's coming out of Mother Mary's chapter, which is at the very heart and the center of the Sophia Code as a book. She talks about again and again how scared we are to lead, but how much we must move beyond our fears of being seen, and we must be seen. It's the huge get to of this lifetime. And that's going to look different for all of us in how we fulfill that role of being resources of support for one another. But it does involve coming out of our closets and shining that light just a little bit brighter every single day, showing up and being seen, and opening our heart and letting ourselves get involved just a little bit more every day. Until one day you wake up and you're like, wow, I am out there. I am doing this thing. I am leading the way. And we have so many people that have grown through the Sophia Code Mystery School over the past 3 years that are doing that right now. And I'm so grateful. And so Mother Mary is saying, like, for all of us in our prayer collective, we're all being called forward. And she's going to be a big part of our 2020 Vision Mentor Journey, which starts this March 4th, which you can learn more about on my website. So turning to page 282, we're going to read from White Buffalo Women's chapter for the last portion of our Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. Oh, and Mother Mary is saying, in closing to her portion of tonight's call, she's saying, do you think you're here to shine alone? Even in her chapter, she talks about how we all came here to be together as innumerable masters from across the cosmos, shining together as an angelic army of light, birthing a new reality. Not to mention the legions upon legions of archangels and star nations and ascended masters that are right here by our side. When you put that into context, it really is that lifetime to step forward and explore what all of your lifetimes are ready to feel through this human journey that you are living. On page 283, let's read together White Buffalo Woman's passage about support. I love this so much. Actually, we're going to start at the bottom of page 282. The White Buffalo Star Nation. Reading from page 282 of the Sophia Code, the last paragraph, second to last paragraph. Let's read it out loud together. The White Buffalo Star Nation is a guiding light totem for your generation of radical spiritual warriors and star-seated light workers. They intimately know the fabric of your soul's passionate prayer for a new world, for they are highly advanced beings that have traveled far across the cosmos to join you in leading this global movement. Their entirely new genetic sequence is a mirror for your own unique contribution as a starseed light worker who came to Earth with an important mission. My white buffalo understand your intense sensitivities to humanity's current crisis, as well as the courage that is required to look and speak differently than previous generations of human light workers. Just as my white buffalo angels are a completely new species on Earth, so are you. And you can take refuge in their loving understanding of your heroic human journey. If you are open to receiving their support, my white buffalo are here to work as one with you in service to the divine feminine Christ movement. Their purpose as my embodied angels is to initiate the willingness of humanity to receive as answered prayer for peace. Consider the powerful momentum of a thunder being heard as a miraculous form of spiritual support for your own role in birthing a new paradigm. When you pray with and for the White Buffalo Star Nation, your prayers for a new golden age are amplified by the magnificent power of my living angels on Earth. With the mighty spirit of my white buffalo at your back, you remember how much your prayers matter for birthing heaven on earth. In their ordained appearance as a new species, they embody both the fulfillment of my prophecy and the lightning medicine of manifested miracles as a mirror for recognizing the power of your own prayers. Your prayers make a significant difference both for your own future and the generations ahead who are depending upon you to fulfill your own prophecies and birth a new paradigm. The spontaneous anchoring of the White Buffalo Star Nation in North America is the first fulfillment of my prophecies as an overlining divine feminine Christ embodiment in service to the planet's ascension. There are many more to come. I proclaimed that I would return at the culmination of several destructive ages to guide humanity back to global peace and right relations with the earth. With the white buffalo announcing my return, know that I am a fully available spiritual guide, both on earth and within your heart, and my work with you for birthing this next age of miracles has just begun. My key code 7 is ordained to become a guiding light transmission for millions of light workers around the world that are here to embody the way of reconciliation, integrity, and sovereignty. I am here to mentor you as a way shower for global peace by activating your embodiment to command miracles and fulfill prophecy through the purity of your heart. And that's what we put on the key code 7 white buffalo woman wristlet: lightning medicine, prayers for the living pour out of me, and I command miracles. So each of these pieces, and I'm wearing them all, I'm looking at it and reading it. It's really fun to read the passages and then look at the jewelry and understand how much intention went into each of these pieces to support you as Ascension technology. I'd like to welcome beautiful white buffalo woman into this sacred space, and she's arriving with her sacred chumupa. And what's so interesting is I'm seeing the living incarnations of the white buffalo that are here on earth, that are encircling us as a prayer collective now, but I'm also witnessing many of their ancestor spirits arriving as well simultaneously. So there are many, many more than just the white buffalo that are here on earth. And these thunder being angels that have come to bless us. And this evening, and what I'm witnessing with White Buffalo Woman is, it's interesting. It reminds me a lot of what I saw when I channeled Kuan Yin's chapter, when the fear left her body. And so White Buffalo Woman's presence is activating you simply as she's standing there holding the prayer of peace in her hands. And she's asking us as a prayer collective to send out a healing light from our hearts for everyone around the world that is feeling the fear of these viruses that are being spread, such as the coronaviruses. There are at least 30 countries that are being flooded right now. There is also extreme storms over the United Kingdom. There's locust infestations in Africa. There's renewed bombing in the Middle East and in Syria. There's about 200 million people starving in Africa right now. There's a lot of suffering happening. But there is the light of God here within us as well. The light of sanity, the light of peace, the light of Sophia, the Christ light that you and I represent here on earth. And so I invite you to raise your wings in the presence of White Buffalo Woman, and to take pride in who you are, the way a buffalo takes pride in who they are, and also in who they are connected to their herd, connected to their family, connected to their relations. We are all connected as relations, as the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. We are all connected through this mystery school tradition, this lineage that the Sophia Dragon Tribe has returned to Earth. And feel that beautiful heart connection that celebrates your sovereign divinity. And we call upon the sovereign divinity of your higher self to fill every cell of your body and to begin to radiate out from your body, from your mind, from your wings into every direction, the peace and the presence of the Holy Spirit of Sophia God, baptizing this world in the truth of its sovereign divinity, the truth of the divine love that our Holy Mother and Holy Father have for every single soul on this planet, the truth that there is always an option to end suffering, and that option comes through turning our hearts back to love, turning our hearts back to working again with one another and not competing with one another, releasing any and all dark lords and agendas from their contracts of teaching us about our divine love and the power of our holy light through oppression. We call forth an end of enslavement over this planet through the embodiment of our own sovereign divinity. And by hearkening to the sovereign divinity and activating the divine genome within every single human being on this planet, we pray for the future of humanity. We pray for its reconciliation, remembrance of its own sovereign divinity. We pray for our direct communion with the source to fill this world with a remembrance of its own direct communion with the source. We flood this world with the light that is flooding us right now, We send it forwards and backwards across all quantum timelines. As I witness Hathor arriving here with White Buffalo Woman and the Sky Grandmothers as well, clearing many, many, countless, innumerable lifetimes for countless souls on this planet. We call in divine interventions of the highest order. Where they are hungry, the hearts are hungry, we ask for the spiritual mana of this truth to come forward for them, as well as food for bellies, comfort and warmth. We call forth housing and shelter. We call forth medicine and healing. We call forth thousands and millions of angels from the Sophia Dragon tribe and beyond across this cosmos to bring healing to bombing victims. Where there has been hatred, we call in the power of love, and we push back the hatred and welcome it to dissolve into the divine love that we are. We command the rains to fall where it has been droughted, and we ask for those places that are flooded to come back into balance and harmony. We call upon the beautiful White Buffalo Star Nation and all the thunder beings and all the archangels to divinely intervene and bring harmony and peace for divine order to reign anew in those parts of the world that are being attacked with a dark agenda to control populations or annihilate populations. And we call forth Isis's Ankh of Life and White Buffalo Woman's sacred Chanukpa and all of the Master's light and divine interventions to come forward and bless this world. As a congregation of witness, we declare that it is done, it is done, it is done. We ask for prisoners in China to be free. We ask for the prison camps, the gateways to be open. We ask for people who are imprisoned all over the world unfairly, that they be freed. And not only that they be free, but that we will be ready for them, that our hands and our hearts and our eyes will be filled with compassion, and that every resource that they need for their own healing, which is our healing, will be provided for them. And we pray for our own healing hearts, even as we pray for our brothers and sisters across this world tonight. We welcome the healing presence of all the key codes of the Sophia Dragon tribe to bring great healing to our own hearts, which we then also transmit to all others. We welcome the healing medicine of White Buffalo Woman, empowering us to stand strong in our divine feminine sensibilities, the intuitive wisdom of our bodies, the clear intuition of our feelings, the deep divine knowing when our voice speaks truth into this world beyond our limited understanding. We call forth that self-acceptance and self-love that the grandmothers have for us into our own hearts here and now, as we reclaim our own hearts as oracles and messengers and visionary wisdom medicine keepers of Sophia's divine love in this world. We take back our responsibility to love and parent this world. We reconcile with our divine purpose as White Buffalo Woman literally came to earth to bring these medicine bundles forward. We too now come forward in the invincible divine love that we are, to reconcile with ourselves as sovereign divine beings that will not allow outer circumstances to intimidate us from our fulfilling our own prophecy and fulfilling our angelic mission for which we came. We give thanks as all the ascended masters of the Sophia Dragon tribe stand with us as a congregation of our entire family of light. For we know that we are here as their way showers, but that they went ahead of us to prepare the way for our success. So Holy Mother, Sophia God, we welcome your benediction and your closing blessings over each and every one of us. As we send our prayers forward into this world, we know, as we confirm together as a community, it is done, it is done, it is done. By the power of three, a perfect Trinity, it is done, your divine will for each and every one of us on earth to prosper in all ways, to return to that beautiful seventh plane Christ consciousness that seeks to benefit and profit and prosper all beings simultaneously, harmoniously. We witness your divine will and your divine order, bringing peace back into this world now. And we give thanks for White Buffalo Women, the Order of Sky Grandmothers, for bearing witness to our part in that unfolding prayer. Thank you for giving us such important roles, and thank you for giving us the tools of the Sophia Code, these Ascension blueprints, these gifts of Ascension technology that are supporting each and every one of us to live in the truth of our higher self, to live in the truth of our sovereign divinity. I give thanks for our high council, our Synod Master High Council, and I know that Isis and Mother Mary and White Buffalo Women and all the key codes go with us as we close tonight's ceremony with gratitude and appreciation for this opportunity to gather in our sovereign freedom and to pray exactly as we choose to pray this evening and every evening in our hearts. I want to thank each and every one of you so much for joining me for this night's prayer circle. It's such a wonderful time to come together on the eve of Mercury retrograde and to really set our consecrate our intention for the coming month. I'm looking forward to sharing more with you about the 2020 Vision Mentor Journey that's starting on March 4th. You have an opportunity to walk with me live through Stargate 1 and through the Stargate 2 curriculum for those of you who have taken these incredible life-changing courses with me. We're going to go even deeper. It's going to be a lot of Q&A, and I'm just so excited. I feel so passionate about not only what I'm going to be able to give, but what each of you are going to be receiving from each other. This is why I get so excited about it. It's witnessing how our community is evolving together, which makes it infinitely easier for us to quantum leap side by side and a heart to heart. And for those of you who are considering joining us for Sophia Circle Leadership in August, this is an exceptional way to jumpstart your year to prepare for that Sophia Circle Leadership program. So I'm really excited that we get to go so deep this year in 2020. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than by your side. And I want to thank you for your continued support of the Sophia Code movement. Thank you for every moment that you share the Sophia Code with others. Thank you for every time that you hand the book to someone else or point them to the prayer collective. It's an honor and a privilege and a great pleasure for me to be here sharing this very heroic human journey with you. And I send you all my love, and I look forward to praying with you again next month. Namaste.